let's take a look at this picture. Look at this beautiful, perfect square. I got that perfect square, and let's say I shade, I don't know why I did that across. How much of that did I shade? I shaded a half of that square. Now, what if I get half of the half? So I'm going to cut it in half again like I did over. So I'm going to cut it in half. So here's the half. I'm going to cut that in half right here. How much of the square do I have now? I now have 1/4 of it. So I had half a square. Then I cut that half in half. Now the reason I cut the whole thing into parts is because whenever you cut things into parts, you need to have an equal amount of each part. So if I were to do this again, God bless you. So if I were to do this again, if I get myself half a square, there's my half of the square, and I'll write it down like that. There's my 1/2. Now I'm going to get half of this half. I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm only going to look at half of it. So how much of this should I shade? Half of it. So I have 2 pieces, so how many should I shade? 1. So I'm going to shade in just one of them. But did I cut this into equal parts?
No.
So just make sure you're going to have to cut them all into equal parts. So now I just cut it in half. I got half of the half. How much is this half of the half?
1/4.
Yeah, it's just 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4. So when it comes to this, when we're getting parts of something, it just means you're multiplying it. And you notice, just by drawing the picture, 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4. What does it look like I did here? I multiplied just the denominators. So I did here, just 2 times 2 equals 4. Is that all I multiplied?
No.
What else did I multiply? I also did 1 times 1. So when it comes to multiplying fractions, it seems like you just multiply the top numbers and multiply the bottom numbers. That's why it's nice and easy. You don't have to worry about getting common denominators or anything. 2/3 times 1/4. Actually, let's not make it 1/4. Let's make it 1/5. So if I'm going to do what we just learned there, what would I do for this one? Yes?
You do 2 times 1 and 3 times 5.
So you multiply these two guys, and you multiply these two guys. So basically on top is 2 times 1. On the bottom is 3 times 5. What's 2 times 1?
2.
3 times 5?
15.
Wow, that's pretty simple, isn't it?
Yes.
Wow, what if I had this problem? I'll make it a little more complicated. What if I had 3/4 times 2/3? Oh no, yes. All right, I'm going to go step by step. You go 3 times 2, 4 times 3. So that's like, you can do that in your head, which is 6/12. And you look at this, you can reduce top and bottom by 6. The answer is 1/2. You can do it that way. I'm going to show you another way. Did you get 1/2 as an answer? If you did not, then no, you may not. Now, I look at this problem. I'm going to do what I did up here, 3 times 2 and 4 times 3. Now I take a look at this. I can reduce, well, if I rearrange it, it's like saying 2 times 3 over 4 times 3. And again, this is what I'm doing mentally, which is the same as saying 2 over 4 times 3 over 3. Well, what's 3 divided by 3? Oh, so I can cross those guys out. What can I divide these guys by?
2.
2. What's 2 divided by 2?
1.
What's 4 divided by 2?
2. Oh, I remember doing this.
So looking at this way, by doing it this way, can look and say, you know what, I got a 3 up here and a 3 down here. Cross them out. I can divide this by 2 and divide this by 2. What's 2 divided by 2?
1,
There's my 1. What's 4 divided by 2?
2,
There's my 2. So you can save yourself all these steps right here. How about if we did this problem? 5 over 12 times 8 over 15. What can I do here? So you're saying this. I can reduce this and this with what?
5.
I can divide this by 5, and I can divide this by 5. So that becomes 1 and a 3. I could divide this by 4, and I can divide this by 4. That's a 2, and that's a 3. What's 1 times 2? What's 3 times 3? There you go. 8/5 divided by 4/5. I'll just write it like that. Oh, let's make it 4/15. Nice little rule here, or nice little poem. I don't want to go into the details now because it's already been quite a few minutes of me teaching. But the nice little poem is when it comes to dividing, there's no reason to ask why. Just flip the second number and multiply.
I wrote it in my last book. Yeah.
Oh yeah, can you write that down?
Yeah, write it down. 'Cause I don't.
Because this is dividing and this is also dividing. And remember, the opposite of dividing is multiplying, isn't it? So if I'm going to divide and then divide by 15, it's like saying I'm going to divide it, then I'm going to divide it again, which is going to bring it back up there anyway, so I might as well just multiply it.
Wait, where'd you get the 15 from on the phone?
This is the problem I made up. So it's 8 over 5 divided by 4 over 15.
Yeah, it says 8.
Exactly, 8 over 5. That's what it is, right there. Can't you see it? 8 over 5. I don't get the problem here. All right, so now all I do is just what I did over there. Can I simplify anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I can divide this by 5 and divide this by 5. I can divide this by 4 and divide this by 4. My final answer is, what's 8 divided by 4?
2, 4.
2. And 5 divided by 5 is 1. What's 15 divided by 5?
3.
Yes, 3. 4 divided by 4 is 1. I don't need to worry about the bottom numbers. 2 times 3 is 6. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want another video that you might like, YouTube has chosen this one for you. My last video is right here. And you can subscribe when you hit the little circle with the add, subtract, multiply, divide sign around it.